thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Burn! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
Is the Brian Snow Show. And I'm Brian Snow, and I want to thank y'all for tuning into this program, and I want to thank the folks at WQEE 99.1 FM in Atlanta for tuning us in as well. My name is Brian Snow. Hope you enjoy this as we enjoy bringing it to you. We're coming to you live from Columbus, Indiana, and IHOP is the name of the game and the name of the place where we are settling for where we are settling this afternoon for our show, and we're going to do something we'd like to call Brian's Bet Slips to lead off the show. And in doing that, I'm going to look at a hockey game that has the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Edmonton Oilers in Game 3 of this series, where it is tied at 1 apiece. And it's going to take place at Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta. Now, they have the over-under at 6.5. I'm going to say take the over in this one. And they have the Golden Knights favored in this game. The money line says Edmonton minus 195. I'm not sure about that, but the only thing that scares me about picking against the Oilers is the fact that Edmonton is at home. First 2 games went 6-4 in favor of the Golden Knights and 5-1 in favor of the Oilers. I don't know what to do. I don't know which way to lean on this game. And I'm looking for the line right now for Edmonton, and all of our odds are provided by Vegas Insider. Which way do you guys think this game will go? I want to know which game do you think? Which way do you think this game would go? I'm going to go with Vegas. I'm going to go ahead and go with Vegas and take them. I'm going to go with Vegas to win the game on the road in Edmonton and take a 2-1 series lead. What's up to Ryan McCarthy, to Latina in California, Latina in CA, and A Pizzle. Pizzle, I gotta get on with you for a show. I have to do it. Here's a game I didn't expect to predict because of the disgusting thing I saw on Saturday night, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. It's the Warriors and the Lakers, Game 4 of this series. The Lakers lead this series 2-1. They have the Lakers favored by 2.5. I don't buy it. I don't buy that the Warriors are going to lose 2 in a row in Los Angeles. I'm taking the Warriors and I'm taking the points, and the over-under is 228. I'm going to go over. I'm going to take the over. So bet the Warriors, take the points at 2.5, and take the over in this case. And I know there's a lot of static. I apologize for that. I am trying to get everything together as we go along. I have Sharif Ahmed scheduled to join me at the top of this hour, and I have also Jay Spivey, who joined me this morning, to go at the bottom of the hour. Ryan McCarthy says, take the Oilers. So I got Eric Kwan out in Los Angeles. So our show is now nationally syndicated. Thank you very much. Eric Kwan tuning us in says Oilers, and Ryan McCarthy also says Oilers. Drasati is on pace to score 20-plus goals in the playoffs. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Other game I will choose is Miami and the Knicks. That's a 7:30 tip-off in Miami. Now, what has Miami playing so well and having them go farther than anybody predicted. It's their defense. It is their defense. New York has fallen asleep at the wheel after blowing out the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I believe they took Miami way too lightly. Miami's favored by 4.5 for this game. Go ahead and lay the points. And I take Miami to win. Over under is 208. I'm going to go over on this one. Over under being 208. That's over under combined points in this game. I'm going to go over in this game. Miami's defense is going to lead to some fast breaks, and they're going to get out in transition. And I think they're going to blow the Knicks out. I'm going with the home team, and I'm laying the points. I beg your pardon. I'm going to lay the points. All the predictions that you see here on Brian's Bet Slips, I will cut them all up, and you'll see them on Instagram and TikTok, and you see the shorts on the YouTube channel. Here's one in baseball, and it's my beloved White Sox taking on the Kansas City Royals, and the White Sox are favored by 1.5 in this game, and the over/under being 8.5. Lay the 1.5 and lay the under. I'm going to go under 8.5 in this game. Sox are 12-23. The Royals are 9-26. Man, I'm going to go ahead and lay the over, because after 17 runs yesterday by the White Sox, I really believe they're going to turn it around. They're going to make a run, and they're going to get in the playoffs. I really believe that. The game I'm going to cover tonight in play-by-play fashion features the world champion Houston Astros, who are 17 up and 17 down, taking on the Los Angeles Angels, who are 19 up and 16 down. The Astros are favored by 1.5. Go ahead and lay it. And the over/under is 9. Go ahead and take the over in this game. So those are the games that I'm looking at in terms of Brian's bet slips. I am taking the Warriors plus 2.5, and I'm going over on 228. I am laying the points with Miami, and the over/under being 208. I'm going over. Vegas and the Oilers, I'm going with Vegas. And if somebody in the chat can find me the line for that game, I'll appreciate it. And I will make my prediction with that. These are all predictions. And I want y'all, if you are into sports betting, which is what I'm adding to the show, I want you to gamble responsibly. Please gamble very, 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 very responsibly. Mike Doherty is my producer. My executive producer is Cole Johnson. The senior producer is Jody Snow, aka Dr. K, and our engineer in our world headquarters is Victor Locke. So thank you to everybody associated with this show. Thank you to everyone that has taken a chance on this show and has really done a wonderful job. The people that I've mentioned have done a wonderful job. That's this edition of Brian's Bet Slips. You can catch it every day at the top of the show here on the Brian Snow Show, and you can catch the short clips on YouTube as well as Facebook and TikTok and all of our video channels everywhere. And I said it right, everywhere. Back in a minute.
And you're watching Shady Sports Network. Tune in, hit that like button.
You might wonder, what do these guys do? Player signing announcements. I never in a million years thought you would actually come on to break this news. So without further ado, go ahead and tell everybody what happened today.
Yeah, man. I just had to work out with the Cincinnati Bengals. Signing me right out.
Without further ado, I'd like to announce that, I'll be taking my talents to Salina Liberty.
This just in. The Major League of Football is reportedly collapsing, unable to pay hotel room bills, with players being kicked out of their rooms and hotel managers asking them to leave voluntarily without issue.
And then we got Lions wide receiver Williams is debuting this week as a starter. That's something to look at as far as the eye test goes. And then another one on the eye test is Mostert might be coming back to Miami, and we can see if he has a role in this offense, and see if he can be viable for the next couple weeks, coming and help us in the playoffs, and possibly towards a championship. Yeah, it would be very nice because he's sitting on my bench right now.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Man, this is fun. It's Monday, and that means my buddy Sharif Ahmed joins me as we have Mondays with Sharif. My brother, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Good to have you on as always. We're reviving Mondays with Sharif. Just had to take a couple weeks to get some things together. Let's dive right in, man. And we've talked about this for a little bit, but I'm going to really go ahead and dive into this. There's a player by the name of Victor Wembanyama that everyone is hyping up. And to you, my friend, my question is why?
What I don't understand about this kid is, like, yes, he's a phenom, but the NBA already has a prototype of that player already. Only problem with this current NBA player is the kid can't stay healthy, and that's Bol Bol.
Yes.
Bol Bol played at Oregon for a year, and the kid's talented. He's not like his daddy.
No.
But he can dribble. He can create his own shot at 7'4". I think what his frame is. Can create his own shot. Can take it to the basket. He can also be a rim protector. But the only problem is his body cannot take the pounding. Now, this Victor kid, I haven't really seen much of. They're giving this big whoop about him, and teams are tanking, and teams are now lining up to get draft picks to trade for that pick.
Yes.
So you and I have been watching this game for a long time.
Yeah, we have.
And there's just a certain handful of players in our lifetime that we can honestly say is like, you know what, this kid can play right away. Now, as much as you and I don't like LeBron, but when LeBron came into the league, or was on the come up and coming into the league, you knew that the kid was talented. It's like, you know what, this kid can play right away and be productive.
Right.
Now, this guy is playing in, what is he, in Australia? Or he's playing somewhere overseas.
Yeah.
And I haven't really been following the guy because I just don't think that he has it. But
no, he doesn't.
I'm not an NBA GM. I don't do none of that, but I'm just going by my eye test.
Yeah.
Playing against guys that are beneath his level. And these NBA guys, it's a whole different level. So we don't know. We will see. We could be proven wrong, but at this point in time, I just don't see the big hoop about him.
I don't see it either. You have a big guy out on the perimeter. Why? I mean, Lord have mercy. Nikola Jokic has worked on his game and continues to work on his game. And Jokic has the entire package. He's got the entire he's got the entire package. And I believe he got robbed of his third consecutive MVP. They gave it to Joel Embiid. I have not seen anything with Joel Embiid that makes him an MVP candidate. I see everything with Nikola Jokic, and Jokic should have been the most valuable player.
Yes. And if you do remember in time during this MVP voting and getting the awards and stuff, we've never had a three-peat. We had repeats, but not a three-peat.
Right. The closest we've come to a three-peat in terms of NBA most valuable player is Larry Bird.
Yes.
In fact, I think he did with MVP. I think he did three-peat, 84, 85, and 86. He's the only one to win 3 consecutive MVPs. But be that as it may, that should have been Jokic's award. I really believe that should have been Jokic's award.
I think so too. And Embiid has been hurt. I think he played maybe about 60 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
And now he hasn't really been playing that much during the playoffs. And surprisingly, the Philadelphia 76ers are actually playing better without him and giving Boston all they can handle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're giving Boston all they can handle. James Harden, surprisingly, and I do stress the word surprisingly, has stepped up. He hit a big three last night to win the game and even the series going back to Boston. Remember, Philadelphia has already stolen one in Boston. Since we're talking NBA, what's gotten into Harden? I mean, we've talked about Harden so many times over and how he has not stepped up in big games. He's now done it twice. He's now done it twice in the 2 Philadelphia wins. You know what's turned the light on for him? What's turned the light on for him where he's actually doing what he is supposed to do? And keep in mind, this is only the conference semifinals.
Well, I don't know if he's a late bloomer. I don't know if the light bulb finally blinked in his mind, but he has that ability to change a series. He has the ability to carry a team. But the problem is when it comes to playoffs, we all know that the games are more physical. Teams now have good teams are now reaching into their benches to now give their star players, you know, the rest that they need. There's not many players right now that are averaging high 30s and close to 40 minutes a game. And if they do, it's out of necessity because the team is down, or if it's like if the team is getting ready to get swept or getting bounced out of the playoffs. But now what I've seen from James Harden is now he's now taken the reins of those 2 games. He literally took charge of that game. Yeah. And the funny thing is about it is the players around him are now realizing like this is the guy right now because Embiid is not playing. So now you got I love that kid Maxey. That kid Maxey on that Sixers squad.
I love Maxey. I love Tyrone Maxey should be the franchise guard right now for Philadelphia. Yeah. Not James Harden.
But the thing is, Maxey is averaging 20 points a night. And that is very hard to do, and especially in the position that Maxey is in, because we all know that James Harden is a high volume guy, meaning that he needs to touch the ball a lot. And for a guy like Maxey to chip in 20 points a game while Harden's healthy, and even when both him and Embiid are in the game, if this continues, and for some reason, if Harden can stay on this track and then Embiid can come and play 60% of his ability, Philly's going to be a tough out, man.
Yeah, Philly is going to be a tough out. They're proving to be a tough out now. And they are actually playing as a team. But here's the key, and you mentioned it a moment ago, and I'll expand on it right here. Tyrone Maxey is the guy. All right. As much as James Harden is shooting lights out right now, Tyrone Maxey is the guy, part 1, and part 2 should be the guy. He should be the guy, period. To help carry them, because you're not getting a lot from Embiid, if anything, because he can't stay on the floor and stay healthy. That's part 1. Part 2 is you're taking the ball out of Maxey's hands if you force feed Embiid. Now, Embiid does demand the ball, but Embiid is not in the post when he demands it. All right, there's the first problem. I mean, we talked about that before. The other thing is you take the ball out of Maxey's hands, and Maxey should be on the perimeter. Now, we heard Embiid say, I don't like shooting threes. And that was when Ben Simmons was a teammate. You got the same problem with James Harden. You have the exact same problem with James Harden. And with James Harden on the perimeter, you just can't get anything in the post. And on top of that, when we're talking about Maxey, you're taking the ball out of his hands.
And the thing about Maxey too, he can stretch that defense out now that you have him on the floor with Harden.
Absolutely.
Stretch out the floor. And what I don't understand is it's post play 1-on-1. When you got 2 good guards out in the wings, even a 3, you got those guys to spread that floor out. It gives Embiid a lot of one-on-ones in the block, which we all know that the guy is a physical force down there. But there's times where he is not down there, and in order for Philadelphia to continue to win, they got to incorporate Maxey more. Now,
Yes.
last I checked, Maxey's not. I think Maxey's barely touching 30 minutes a game, and it could be because Embiid is not in the game.
Exactly.
But they got to figure. I'm not the coach. It's out of my pay grade.
Same.
But you have to think for a minute. You got to think for a minute that if you have a guy like Maxey and Harden, and if Maxey and Harden are putting up the numbers that they're putting, and on top of that, then you got Embiid. If Embiid averages 15 and 10 a game with those two guys out there, they're still going to win ball games.
Yes.
Now the forgotten player in that rotation is Harris.
Mm-hmm.
There's times where I've been watching games. Harris will be going into halftime with 17, 18 points, and then in the second half, he doesn't touch the ball or score at all.
Right.
They got to incorporate. Go ahead.
And how much did they pay Tobias Harris? How much did they pay him?
A lot of money, to the point that Jimmy Butler, I think, said last year in the playoffs, they picked Tobias over me.
I find no lie in that argument, because Tobias Harris hasn't done anything, and this is between two different players. Tobias Harris has not done anything. Not two different players, two different coaches. Tobias Harris has not done a doggone thing.
And if he were to scratch a little bit of the talent that he has too, Philadelphia would even be better.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Yes,
they
sir.
They would be a hell of a lot better. And back to Embiid. He politicked, he whined, he moaned. He got his MVP. But I've said online so many times over, and I've gotten criticized for this. Will Joel Embiid put it all together? And my answer is no. And people have been throwing stats at me and been throwing all kinds of numbers at me with Joel Embiid. And I'm just like, y'all don't listen, do you? You guys just don't pay attention. It's not the physical nature of Joel Embiid that is making him incomplete. But if you've watched Embiid hit from his days at Kansas to his days in Philadelphia, he doesn't have it between the ears. That is the missing component. Him being an absolute dog in the fourth quarter and demanding the ball almost every single time down the floor. They do not, and this has been a criticism I've had of one Doc Rivers, who is Philadelphia's coach. They are not playing to Joel Embiid's strengths. They're not playing to Tyrone Maxey's strengths. And if they don't do that consistently, Boston's going to figure it out, and they're going to bounce them from the playoffs.
And Boston has, I don't know if the coach, I don't know if he's an interim coach, or I don't know if they give him the title yet. But in essence, this guy has, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The coach for Boston, he was with Udoka staff. He put together, he kept that boat afloat, and he kept it sailing.
Yeah, he did.
But now, like you said, they need to figure out how to attack this Sixer team when Embiid is not on the floor, or when he's inconsistent. There's time. I mean, there are no front court players on that Boston team. None. Yeah, Horford is what? He's an undersized post player. You got this young kid, the young kid Williams, who's really Michael not Williams. A threat on. He's not a threat in the paint. And he's not he's not that much of a rim protector either, because we all know in the playoffs, each team has to have a rim protector, at least one. And Boston doesn't have that, and they have no post presence. So there's got to be a way that Boston needs to figure out to get some type of post presence, at least between 15 to 17 minutes a game, giving you 9-10 points in that painted area, even with or without Embiid in there, to give Tatum and Brown more lanes and more opportunities to score. Because I see Jaylen Brown going up in there, and there's times when that kid's getting murdered in the lane.
Yes.
And if Brown goes down, the Celtics are in trouble.
Yeah. very much in trouble. Let's go to the Western Conference, and I want to talk about Game 3 between the Warriors and the Lakers. Yes, it was a 30-point blowout. Yes, the Warriors couldn't throw it in the ocean for the life of them, and they panicked. They absolutely panicked when the Lakers went on a 30-5 run to close the second quarter. But it was that at that point where they called a stupid flagrant foul on Moses Moody, saying that he grabbed the leg of Anthony Davis and endangered him, and that started the run right there. That kind of took the sails, I believe, out of the Warriors, and it continued all night long. Those whistles continued all night long. I took a look at the game. I looked back at it, and that's what I can come up with. And if they don't win Game 4 tonight, the Warriors are in serious trouble. But this is my conspiracy theory, and I want you to attack it and tear it down. I think the Lakers got a big assist on Saturday night. Am I wrong?
They did. They got a big assist with that gosh darn play-in game, which they had no business being in the playoffs.
Right.
The Minnesota Timberwolves, the game that they won, Towns was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Edwards was hurt. You're asking Mike Conley, a 13, 14-year veteran of the league, to play 30 to 35 minutes, which he hasn't done since the early part of his career.
Right.
That team took him to the brink, and then all of a sudden, the Lakers are on the free throw line 2 to 3 times more than the Timberwolves were.
Yeah, and that was a big difference on Saturday. 29-8 at one point on the free throws. Tell me why the whistles came out after. Okay, you know how I think and you know how I feel. You and I have watched basketball for a long time, and we have studied it for a long time. I think the way the Warriors were officiated on Saturday was totally unfair, beginning in the second quarter.
So. I think so, too. And the one thing, back in the 80s and even through the 90s, man, the players dictate the outcome of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You got to look at this darn rosters. Between the two rosters, there's no way. There's no way.
None.
That this Laker team is better than the Warrior team. There's no way.
There's no way that the Lakers should be up 2-1 in this series. No way at all. And the refs, in my opinion, stole Game 1 from the Warriors after they tied it at 112. Yeah, you shaking your head. You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about. You watch the game just like I do. You watch the game with a critical eye, just as I do. Why did the refs steal 2 games for the Lakers in this series? Games 1 and 3. Why? Why did this happen? And my backup question before we go to a break: why does Adam Silver allow this to happen?
Let me touch on the first part of it, man. This series between the Lakers and the Warriors, in my opinion, is probably the series to watch because you have Steph Curry and LeBron James. They both have multiple titles, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's talk that Steph Curry could be, if and when he wins his next title, he's going to be up in the top 5 of all time. There's no debating that.
None.
But for some, I just don't know why that they're still hanging on to LeBron.
I don't know either.
Ever since the bubble year, it just seems like, I don't know if it's the media, if it's the league, are trying to push this man to try to at least get 5 or 6 titles, because we all know he has a losing record in the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
people don't want to talk about.
He's 3-6. I don't count the bubble championship, although many people do.
And then
he's 3-6 in the finals.
Correct. He has a losing record in any NBA final games.
Mm-hmm.
And they're thrusting him as the greatest player of all time. If you were to run down the list of the top 5 greatest players of all time, they've never had a losing record in the finals. Magic's won 5, Kobe's won 5. You can even throw Shaq. Shaq won 4. He lost 3, but he won 4. But they're winning records. If you want to be considered,
Michael Jordan won 6 and didn't lose in the finals and didn't see a Game 7 in the finals.
I don't understand that.
I don't either.
We all know that the Warriors are the better team. Now going on Adam Silver. The problem is with Adam Silver is he's too pro player, and and that's a problem. And a lot of people need to understand the simple dynamic of freaking sports. I almost cursed. Sorry.
Yeah, I get it. I get it, man. I get it, man.
The owner, the commissioner of every major sports league is a representative of the owners.
Yes.
You have a player unions rep, and the two sides have to negotiate between themselves, voicing through the players and voicing through the owners. Now the NBA has Adam Silver in his pocket, in my opinion, because now they're doing all these things now. They wanted a playing game. They got a playing game. They threw in the money aspect. The owner's like, oh, wow, that's going to generate a lot of money for us. But it's now you've diluted the playoffs. Could you imagine if the Timberwolves were the 8th seed? I don't know if they had a losing record or if they were 500. That's not. No, you got to take the top 16 best teams in your league and then go from there like they've done for years. And the thing is now Adam Silver is, in my opinion, is pro player. The Players Association and the players are not going to say anything about him because they're doing Silver's doing what the players are doing. And I don't know what's going on with these owners because the owners can vote him out if they wanted to.
If they and you just said it, if they wanted to. We're up against the break. I got Jay Spivey coming. Let me thank Sharif Ahmed for coming on this afternoon. As always, it's Mondays with Sharif, and you never know what we're going to dive into, but we're going to talk a lot of sports, and we're going to bring the truth as we always do. My tag team partner, Sharif Ahmed, Mondays with Sharif. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
All right.
Take a break, and when we come back, Jay Spivey will join me, and this is going to be a lot of fun. We go down to Carolina next.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing Next Level Pro Wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
Hey, y'all. Snowman here. Catch me, Cole Johnson, Wise El Jefe, and the usual cast of characters as we bring it to you every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's called Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, and it's right here on CSTV and CSTVNow.com. Join us, won't you?
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy, game-winning interception, first down, just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extra berth. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Welcome back to this edition of the Brian Snow Show, and I want to welcome a very special guest who is a very dear friend of mine. Mr. Jay Spivey joins me right now. Good afternoon, Jay. How are you?
Good, Brian. It's been a long time since we spoke.
It's been a while. It's been a while. We talked this morning about baseball, and yes, we do talk about baseball here. And we said Wake Forest was the number 2 team in the country. We lied. They are now the top ranked team in the country. And yet, and I love bringing up this point, and I know you love talking about it because no one else in your area will. No one in your area, an area I'm familiar with, the Triad, will not talk about the top ranked Wake Forest Demon Deacon baseball team. But we talk about it here all the time. Why don't they do that in your area, man? What is up with that?
It's not strictly because it's Wake Forest baseball. It's strictly because it's Wake Forest. You know, I grew up here. It's even though Wake Forest is in the city where I live, and I grew up. I'll fully admit, I grew up a Wake Forest fan. I've been a Wake Forest fan since the day I remember. But Wake Forest itself has not done a good job of promoting itself, not only as a top institution, which it is, but they always want to say it's the Triad school or, you know, the Winston-Salem. No, it's not. It's probably the 4th or 5th most popular school in its own city.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Carolina, you got State, you got Appalachian. Even Winston-Salem State, which is a Division II school, might even be more popular. And then there are teams like A&T, North Carolina A&T, UNC Charlotte. It goes on and on and on.
Yes.
But, excuse me. But, you know, Wake just doesn't do a good job of promoting itself. As a matter of fact, I probably live about 15 minutes from Wake Forest. And you go there at a certain time of the day, whether it be night or early in the morning, the gates are locked. You can't even get in there at night or in the morning.
Right.
They close. So it's basically almost like Duke in a way where it closes itself off from the actual city. And I understand there's security issues. I mean, there's been some security issues there in the last 20 or 25 years, but
yeah,
you can't shut yourself off from the rest of the community. Because if you want to get it, if you're a criminal and you want to get in there, you can get in there if you really want.
Yeah.
But the actual public, if they want to drive through there on a given night after 10 o'clock, you can't do it.
Right. You really
can't do it.
Yeah. They have UNC Greensboro this week, and that is at Wake Forest. And again,
that's tomorrow night.
That is tomorrow night, Battle of Greensboro. The top-ranked team in the country, and later this week I'll have Ty Collins, the voice of Wake Forest baseball, on the program.
And they have a big series at Florida State this weekend.
Yes, they do, and it's in Tallahassee Friday through Sunday. I'll have updates on that series as well. Let me throw something out there, and I'm throwing a big hook on this because you and I dealt with some folks out there in Carolina that they want specific things talked about on their radio show or my radio show, and one of them is not baseball. And yet we see the same, and we talked about it this morning, we see the same hypocrite sitting at North Carolina A&T covering you guessed it, folks, a baseball game. All right. I want to know why are these people such hypocrites? In Carolina media, you've met them, I've met them. You've dealt with them, I've dealt with them. Why are they such hypocrites?
Could it be that he's being paid by A&T to broadcast said games?
I don't know why.
Like they always say, it always comes down to money.
I want to know how he pulled that off. Okay, and y'all know the he I'm talking about. I will not mention his name. I want to know how he pulled that off and how he got his network shows, which ain't much, on radio stations in the Triad.
Like you and I spoke this morning. Granted, I don't listen to it. I haven't listened to it for quite a while, but
Me
I'm
neither.
gonna guess they probably haven't discussed that Wake Forest is ranked number 1 in the country.
I'm willing to bet you they haven't. I'm
But
willing to bet you that they have. I'm willing to bet they haven't.
But I bet you they're willing to talk about the NBA MVP race or the 6-man race or Coach of the Year or something like that.
Oh, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
And I know they got blown out last night, but I bet they're hardly discussing the Hurricanes hockey team.
No, they're not. No, they're not. And I got yelled at by these people for discussing Carolina Hurricanes, for reaching out to representatives of the Carolina Hurricanes to come on the show and talk about it.
And like you and I have discussed many times, it is right now at least, it is by far the best run in pro sports program in North Carolina.
It is.
Not even close.
It's not even close. It's not even close. When I was on that network with my show, and first of all, I was anchoring his network because people were tuning in. He introduced me to you, and I thank him for that. Because you and I have been friends since the day we met. And I got to tell this funny story, folks. Jay and I were only supposed to talk 15 minutes the first time we talked. We talked a half hour. We had a half hour, talked a half hour, didn't care about the time, and that's how it's been since.
He probably got mad about that. He probably got mad about that.
He did. He kept saying, cut it to 15 minutes. I'm like, this is a friend of mine that knows sports more than you do. This is a friend of mine that actually cares about the Carolina Hurricanes, that actually cares what happens in the world of sports and tells the truth about it. That's the other thing.
That's the only way I know.
Yeah.
That's the only way I know.
That's the only way I know also.
Man, like I just told you, I fully admit I'm a Wake Forest fan, but I'm going to tell you the truth about Wake Forest athletics. I'm just going to tell you that.
Exactly. Exactly. We tell the truth here. Everybody that's in the chat, including Traffic Troop. Hey, Traffic Troop, let me know where you're where you're watching from so we can shout you out properly. Ryan McCarthy out of Saratoga, New York, joining me. Mickey Delaney from Seattle, Washington, joining me. I know you wanted to localize my show, and yes, I'm getting a lot of residual feelings off my chest once and for all. I know he wanted to localize my show and keep the guests local. I get that, but I also have national guests that come on as well. Matt Taylor from the Colts joins me on a weekly basis. But why are they, again? There's such hypocrites with what they want to cover,
right? And
telling folks like you and I what we should cover. Well, I finally stopped listening.
2 summers ago, when there was literally nothing going on, we could have easily discussed Major League Baseball, which is pretty much the only thing going on in the summer.
Pretty much.
And I could have talked about it ad nauseum because I'm a big baseball fan. Watch it every day. Mm-hmm. And I'm a Braves fan, but I watch other teams as well.
Yep.
And he did not want to discuss it. He wanted to talk about the top 25 NBA players of all time. So we did that for 5 straight weeks.
We did. And if I may be frank, it sucked because there was a bunch of baseball going on. There were some great pennant races going on, and we weren't allowed to talk about it.
The only time that I ever remember we were allowed to talk about baseball was when Hank Aaron died.
Yes.
I got on that show that afternoon. He said, I know Hank Aaron just died this morning. So he said, since he died, let's talk about him. Well, that's great. Hank Aaron was an ambassador for baseball, one of the best players ever.
Mm-hmm.
But what about everybody else?
Right. Yeah, and the thing is, with that alone, that was the only time we were quote unquote allowed to talk about baseball. David St. Dennis joining us. David, what's up to you from Massachusetts? Leo G joining us as well via YouTube. Leo, where are you talking from so we can shout you out and shout you out properly? That was only time, and I had another special guest to talk about Hank Aaron. That was the only time we were quote unquote allowed to talk about baseball.
Well, frankly, we should have had at least one segment about Hank Aaron as much as he did for baseball, but we had maybe 10 minutes.
Maybe. And that's
it was thrown on to the end of the show one day.
You saw the rundown. Hi, baby. You saw the lineup that he put together for my show.
Yeah.
And that was when I was taping it in advance. And I hated taping it in advance, but it allowed me to rest. But at the same time, I think I now have a handle on, doing this schedule. And I'm glad I have you on this afternoon, as well as having you on every Monday morning. But not being allowed to talk about baseball? Really?
It's this is last I checked.
It is a sport.
And I love the rules changes.
Yes.
Rules changes have helped baseball so much.
They have.
The games have been cut almost 30 minutes per game.
And it's going to be cut even more. It's down to 2.5 hours for every game now, unless you go extra innings. The other thing that got on my nerve, in 2021, when you and I were really, 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 really hooked up to talk sports, and I pulled my program from his network, your team won the division, the Atlanta Braves, and my team, Chicago White Sox, won the division.
And my team won the World Series.
And your team won it all against the Houston Astros. You better believe I covered that series.
He didn't give it the time of day.
Nope. He didn't want me to give it the time of day. And let me share a story with you guys. February 2021. In the middle of my show, which I taped the night before, running on his network, my wife got in my ear saying, "Why are you doing this?" You know what he did to me, folks? He had me run 4 ads for sponsors that he secured on my show. I only got paid for one of them. To my understanding, 50 times 4 is $200. He said he was going to pay me $50 every month for the ads that I run. I only got paid for one of them.
There you go.
And my wife got in my ear, and I was supposed to do a football game that night also, because of course COVID forced football into the spring. And my wife said, "Why are you doing this? You're only getting paid for one of the 4 commercials. That's highway robbery." And after sitting there and looking at Jody, and she says, "I'm going to Tennessee because I'm getting some rabbits for our herd. You coming or not?" I pulled the program and told him, "Look, I can't do it anymore." And I haven't talked to him since. I couldn't do it. Not for the talent I'm bringing aboard, not for the discussions I bring aboard, and you as well, my friend, and others who I've had on the show. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And it made me angry, but it's the best decision I ever made. Best decision I ever made. And having you as a weekly guest on the morning show, again, best decision I ever made, because I knew what you bring to the table.
I'm happy to be on here.
That's Jay Spivey joining me this afternoon on a Monday, and I love having you on. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate the time, my friend.
All right, Brian. Thank you very much.
That's Jay Spivey joining me here on the program, and I got him on the afternoon show. I'm proud of that. I am very, very proud of that. One more break. I'll recap the bet slips, and then I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to get some food. Talking to you from IHOP in Columbus, Indiana. Back in a minute. Hey, y'all. Snowman here. Catch me, Cole Johnson, Wise El Jefe, and the usual cast of characters as we bring it to you every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's called Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, and it's right here on CSTV and CSTVnow.com. Join us, won't you?
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus, smarter than energy.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got, game-winning interception, First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extra berth. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Sure, we all know ghosts exist.
I'm getting a really dark energy.
But if you trying to hunt them, there's one simple rule you gotta follow.
What the hell was that?
Guys, hurry up and get the hell out of there. No matter what happens, stay calm.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, my God! Oh, hell no!
Hey, Matt, what's up?
Okay, that's a balloon. It looked like it was a demon. Wow.
We be fly for nothing. We be fly for nothing. O-E-O, mucho. Run it.
So where are we going?
A haunted pinata shop.
What?
An old Korean brothel.
Oh, Lord. A funeral home in Compton?
Yeah.
You don't like us, do you?
It's business.
I get fly for nothing. I roll with O-P-O.
Official paranormal operations, baby.
We got infrared cameras set up all over the place.
Whatever's in there, we're gonna get to the bottom of it. Y'all down with it?
What the is this? I have robot strapped to my abdomen.
What the hell is going on?
Are you with us right now?
You okay? Guys, we got action.
I feel like something's in here.
Don't nobody want you with us.
Man, they got some going down in there.
It could be a succubus.
Suck you, huh?
It's an energy that feeds upon you in a sexual way. Like...
Not with the teeth like that?
Oh, yeah.
We be fly for nothing.
All right, investigation's over. This bitch is haunted as
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
Just about time to wrap it up from here at IHOP in Columbus, Indiana. I want to thank you all for joining me this afternoon. Quick recap on Brian's bet slips. We will start with the NBA. Knicks and Heat playing game 4 of that series. Heat are favored by 4.5. Lay the points, and 208 is the magic number. Over under. I'm going to go under. Warriors and Lakers play game 4 of that series. Warriors need this one to tie it up. Lakers are favored by 2.5. Take the Warriors, take the points, and take the under in this case. I know I said over, but take the under 227.5 in this case. I think the Warriors are going to get it together. Vegas Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers. Oilers favored by 1.5 goals. Nope. I'm going to take those. Points. And the over-under is 7 in this case, and I'm going to go under. Astros and Angels from Anaheim. Astros are favored by 1.5. Magic number is 9. Take the Astros, lay the runs, and take the under. I'm taking the under in this case. And White Sox and Royals. White Sox are favored by 1.5. Over-under 8.5. Take the White Sox, lay the runs, and take the over in this case. That White Sox offense is beginning to cook, and they are going to turn it around, and they're going to make a magic run to the playoffs. My time is up. Hope you all enjoyed it as we enjoy bringing it to you. Thank you to the folks at CSTV Now, CSTV, and CSTVNow.com. Thomas Boyle and the bunch hosting us. Thank you to the folks at WLEO 26.7 Internet Radio in Baltimore, and also to our first station that picked us up, WQEE in Atlanta. We're going to bring some Atlanta sports talk to you when we expand the show into football season. Thank you all very, very much. God bless you. I love you. It's time for lunch. I'm getting out of here. I will see y'all tomorrow when I'm back in studio. So long, everybody.
Thank you for tuning into The Brian Snow Show, where sports... Thank you for tuning into The Brian Snow Show, where sports is the base, life and fun are the results.